Salam alaikum. Mubarak is my name, and I'm reporting from Tehran in the Middle East, wherever that is. And I have news for you. Is it nuclear weapons, or what happened to our friend Salman Rushdie? Somebody almost tried to kill him. Not very nice. But I want to bring you another point of view from VFI News. Hello. I don't know who that other guy was, but I am taking over right now. That's right, I'm in my rightful place at VFI News, and I'm glad to speak with all of you. In the month of August, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, a man I deeply respect and appreciated his sound diplomacy and his stance for Israel, was discovered to be one of 3 targets we know of from the Iranian regime. The IRGC, that's Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, offered $1 million for his assassination. Former ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, was also to be murdered in a plot to kill him by the Iranian IRGC. That's right, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. The amount on his head was only $300,000, but who's counting? Which, of course, he sounded upset over why it was so low to begin with. Of course, I don't know if that was fake news or real news, but who cares? You get the point? John Bolton was the 25th ambassador to the UN from the United States in the years 2005 to 2006 under the President Bush administration. Shahram Poursafi, aka Mehdi Rezai of Tehran, was charged on August 11, 2022 with this terrorist plot. Mike Pompeo was the second target of the Iranian regime and this killing machine as we know it today very well. In addition, a man armed with an AK-47 assault rifle came to the home of Iranian human rights activist and author at her home in Brooklyn, Masih Alinejad. He did not succeed in killing her. However, is the message yet getting through to all of you apathetic people out there in the Western world? It should. The attempts to murder and kidnap and kill U.S. citizens on American U.S. soil is unprecedented, and I am 100% sure they have a very long list on those of their target list. Both Iranian dissidents against the mullah's dictatorship and political figures and even business people. Why don't we hear so much as a peep, Bo Peep, from most of the media outlets about the Iranians who are coming through as illegal immigrants across the southwestern borders of the United States? Well, it's time to wake up. Shake up and wake up. Now we know their actions prove themselves. Look at what happened recently to Salman Rushdie, an Indian-born British-American novelist. He's the one who wrote back in 1988 and published the novel called Satanic Verses. The book's publication in 1988 led to a fatwa, which is a targeted assassination edict on his head by the then Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, who called for his death. Guess who died first? The Ayatollah did. Yes, he died on June 3rd, 1989, but not after he first issued the fatwa on February 14th, 1989. Well, apparently he reaped the curse that he sowed. Well, guess what? A 24-year-old named Hadi Matar attacked Mr. Rushdie as he was lecturing recently in good old New York City while on stage and stabbed him in the neck and several times all over his body. By a miracle, Salman is not dead and he is still recovering. He suffered a damaged liver and eye and neck injuries, so keep him in your prayers, please. The point being that these mullahs are dangerous and they are willing to wait years to fulfill their demonized plans. The fatwa was issued in 1989 not only against Rushdie but against the publishers. And here we are now in August 2022. Over 30 years later, this is what has happened. And Matar comes before the courts this past week and he issues a plea of not guilty. Well, yes, of course, let's see where that goes in New York City, especially because the courts there are so lenient, they may just let him go free until his court date, the way things have been going lately in New York. So, quoting a few lines from an article in the Jerusalem Post, the Biden administration remains hell-bent on concluding another catastrophic soft nuclear deal with the Ayatollahs of Iran. We could be just days away, folks. Where are the shouts of concern? Not the political handshakes and nods of heads in Washington, D.C., and the niceties of the UN and the EU. We could be on the verge of a nuclear holocaust. That's right. Our lives and our civilization is at stake. I am talking about nuclear weapons, not sticks and stones that will break your bones, nor missiles or projectiles or incendiary balloons that Hamas has sent over the border into Israel. I'm talking about nuclear bombs, wiping out civilization as we know it. U.S. President Joe Biden and Jake Sullivan will find a way to excuse even the most unreasonable and irresponsible arrangement with Iran, so says David Weinberg. And I totally see it. In Washington, D.C., they are ignoring, with the support of most of the Democratic Party and some Republicans, the very threats to the United States security, the likes that I have never seen before since I was born on this earth. I can't say the Republican Party has done much better, but at least the toughest sanctions were placed on the Iranian dictatorship under former President Trump and Mike Pompeo as Secretary of State. And the Iranian regime did feel the squeeze. It was squeezing their economy and keeping them back. If this deal is revived, it is so much closer to nuclear weapons than when Obama and John Kerry negotiated the first horrendous JCPOA agreement. From the moment their deal was penned and signed in 2015, the Iranian regime didn't hesitate and began cheating right away. What else did you expect? That's right, we were being fooled. Not me, but yes, many of you were, and many of those watching this. Iran stockpiles uranium beyond what was permitted. They never admitted to even breaking the agreements that they already had prior with the IAEA that oversees nuclear weaponry. In this new deal, economic sanctions will be dropped, and they will receive another $900 billion. And if it waits till 2030 with interest, that would be about $1 trillion. What do you think they're going to use that money for? Come on, I ask you honestly, what do you think that they are going to use this money for? As Iran is known as the #1 global state sponsor of terrorism in the world today. The Iranian-backed Houthis went on to attack Saudi oil installations with guided missiles and drones. That's where some of the money went after the Obama deal. What about several billion going to Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and more to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, and of course the toppling of governments such as in Lebanon, poor people in Lebanon. Not just 4,000 rockets and missiles will be shot against Israel, but tens of thousands. And look who their allies are now. No surprise, Vladimir Putin of Russia and Xi Jinping of China and North Korea, of course. They are presently coming together as one team and an alternative to the U.S. and Western civilization as we know it. With a nuclear bomb, and several I may add, they will strap them on their nation and threaten to blow up the whole world. He's got the whole world in his hands. I'm glad he does and they don't. If you are concerned about environmental issues now, think about what a nuclear holocaust will bring. The apathy and distractions going on pale in comparison to what this all means for you and me, for the United States, for Europe, for Israel, for Asia, and everywhere else in the world today. The Iranians know that it will be much harder for Israel to attack their facilities once an agreement is signed. They will bankroll this global terrorism on a scale that will make 9/11 look petty. And isn't it sad when we see the 9/11 Museum in New York having to close up soon because of a lack of funding, but yet our government in Washington can throw billions of dollars into the fires of abortion mills, false projects, surgical operations on children and young people to change their sex, and who knows what else. From the Dr. Mengelas of the West of today's societies to the dictatorships in Iran and elsewhere, It's time to wake up, whoever you are and wherever you live, and make your protests and votes known. The apathy and sleepiness of the media and the people today is just too much to bear. But the missiles of our intercessory prayers and our voices being heard in the world's capitals can make some impact. Of course, if you want the world to end soon, just sit back. The blood of innocent victims and the rocks will even cry out. As some have said and marched around in streets dressed in white robes at times, repent, for the end is near. Wake up before we all sing that chorus to that song by Carole King. And now it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it. Something inside has died and I can't hide and I just can't fake it. Oh no, no, no. Barry for the VFI News.